Hi, how are you? Today I want to have a talk about childhood trauma. I know a lot of us suffer with childhood trauma, and it's a very difficult thing to get over in life. And I just want to have a quick discussion about childhood trauma. Childhood trauma can affect your marriage, any relationship that you in. It can affect it, because it's like a childhood trauma is almost like, it keeps you as a prisoner. You don't realize that childhood trauma plays a big part into you keeping relationships, and it actually causes you to make a lot of bad choices. Um, it is a very bad thing. Childhood trauma is. Um, it keeps you in bondage. Um, it keeps you, tied to things that you're familiar with. Um, it keeps you making bad choices. It also have you to get into addictions. A lot of times, childhood trauma leads to addictions, and it can also lead into alcoholism. I know for majority of the time with women, it's either women either get into real bad alcoholism, or they get into they have a sex addiction, and drug addiction. I mean, it can lead to all different type of things, but childhood trauma is, basically a form of, it's basically a spirit that keeps you trapped, and you never able to move forward in life. It causes you to never be able to see the bigger picture of your life. You know, I used to suffer from childhood trauma until I turned my life over to God, um, because it was affecting my marriage, and it was also affecting, how I was able to be a mother, and I had to realize that I had to let go of the things that I experienced as a child, because we have to understand that our parents make mistakes too, and we can't, you know, hold them to it, because sometimes they don't know. So sometimes your parents just may not know, what they did, and you have to find it in your heart to forgive them, and once you do that, you will be able to open yourself up to become a better adult, because, we tend to allow childhood trauma to define us. It could actually be the first thing a person recognize about you, because you carry this attitude, as you call it, as a self-defense, like you protecting yourself. It's like a wall that you put up in front, and you don't let nobody in based on what you experienced as a child. But as you get older, you realize that you make a lot of mistakes doing that. Yes, it's sad what happened, to you, as a child. Did you deserve what happened? No, but it also can have you to be a person that makes very reckless choices. You will notice that and also childhood trauma can also have you will have a spending addiction too. So it open the doors for many different things in your life, and you'll notice that you will see a pattern. If you ever look at yourself, you will notice that you will see a pattern, and normally the patterns that you will recognize is the same things that you experience in your trauma. Um, if you was sexually abused, majority of the time you will be addicted to sex. Um, if you was if you was abandoned by your parents, you would have a tendency of abandoning people. You would just disappear out of a person's life without an explanation. So a lot of times, that things that we